Welcome to the first EDU day for 2021. It's going to be a great one to kick off the year, and we're going to show you lots of exciting things in today's session. I'm Amanda Frampton. I'm the Learning Delivery Specialist based in Queensland, and joining us from the other side of Australia is Stephen Payne. Welcome, Stephen.
Hi Amanda, I'm Stephen Payne based in Perth, and in this session between us we're going to show you some fantastic apps. Amanda's going to look at Paint 3D and 3D Viewer with you. I'll talk to you about using the video and photo app for some multimedia and creativity stuff. I'll give you a quick overview of the new Edge browser, and then we'll collaborate together in Microsoft Whiteboard.
And if you haven't seen Microsoft Whiteboard, you're going to be super excited because it's forever being updated at the moment, and it's a really great product. The next app that we're going to smash today is called Paint 3D. It is a new take on Paint. That's the classic Paint that's been around in Windows 10 forever, but it allows you to create in every dimension. So you can make 2D masterpieces or 3D models that you can play with from all angles. So to gain access to it, it will be on your device by default. So you should be able to search in your Windows 10 menu, and you'll see that the application is there and you can open it up. When you open it up, you get to an interface that looks a little bit like this. So a quick tour is that you've got your select button here. It's important to know that one, because if you get stuck on, like painting or something, you need to click select to get back and be able to move objects around and do other stuff. You've got a crop tool here, and this magic select, we'll have a bit of a look at that in a moment as well. It's pretty nifty to allow you to create 2D objects and make them into stamps and just to remove background and things. So it's a good hack to have as well. You've got your menu across the top here as well. So when you click brushes, you'll see that your side menu appears. Nothing new here, in terms of the tools that you can choose from. Then we have a whole heap of 2D shapes. Again, nothing new here. Where the magic starts to happen is when we move into the 3D shapes menu over here. So you can see here that you get a choice initially to open a 3D library. So the really cool thing with Paint 3D is that you can start with some existing 3D objects. So maybe you're just a teacher and you're doing a lesson on cells, and you want to give the kids a bit of a look inside a human cell in 3D. So you can just search that gallery there, or that library there, and then you can see that I've inserted this human cell object in here, and once I've clicked on it, I get my menu box that comes up around it, and the bottom one will turn my 3D object that I've inserted along the y-axis. The right hand side, and we'll turn it on the x-axis or flip it, okay, so I can rotate that in all different directions. And my left hand side will bring that forward or back in the Z plane as well. And then the top one obviously just rotates that around. So the really cool thing is you can either show the students this independently or view it on a whiteboard. You can get rid of this white canvas by going to the canvas toolbar and turning that off, so that you just get this object, this cell floating in there. And then obviously using pinch and zoom, etc., you can zoom right into that. So I'm just using my touch screen there and pinching and zooming. Otherwise you can zoom in using the toggle bar up the top here, but you could have all sorts of discussions and even start to label some of these items down the side here if we wanted to. So lots of different applications there. The really cool thing is this 3D library is actually available within PowerPoint as well. So if you go into PowerPoint, look in your insert toolbar, depending on the version of PowerPoint you're in, you will have the opportunity to insert 3D shapes, which is pretty nifty. So you can create your own and insert them into the PowerPoint as well. So step one is that. Step 2 is if I wanted to, I can actually manipulate or alter an existing 3D shape. So let's say that I am doing a unit on animal adaptation. So I'm going to have a look at our little pig here, and I'm going to add some different features to him. So I'm going to get rid of my cell here. So we'll select our cell and we will delete cell, and we'll bring our little pig into forefront. So you can see here I've got my model in my pit of my little pig here, and I can rotate him on any kind of angle that I would like to. And then I can start to alter him and do what I'd like to. So this is where the magic happens. If I was just to pop into the 3D Shapes lab here, I mean, I could get my brush and I could actually just, you know, give him some different stripes down the side, maybe give him some gills. But here I can really start to manipulate this 3D object. So I've got all of these existing 3D objects here. So maybe I want to, you know, for the sake of this activity, give him a bit of a party hat. So I can play with this party hat here. I can turn it on the right angle. Okay, I can match this up to him, and this is where your spatial awareness really comes into play, because we need to rotate that hat and move it into the right plane to be able to put that onto the pig's head. So you can see that that's not quite right yet. We can move here, and we're going to have to move it down a little bit this way to start to get that overlapping our little pig. Okay, so for the sake of that, you've got your solid primitive 3D shapes there that you can add. I want my pig to have a party hat. I'm going to make him fly. So I'm going to use some of the tools that allow me to create my own 3D shape. So we need some wings. I've got these 3D doodle tools up here. So the sharp edge doodle tool is kind of like a cookie cutter. So what I can do is if I click on the sharp edge and I draw a star over here, and as long as I join up to the point that I began, what the app will do is convert that into a 3D cookie cutter shape. So it's like I've pressed a cookie. Now I can play with that, adjust the thickness, change the color, etc. The soft edge 3D doodle tool allows you to create something that's a little bit fluffy. So I'm going to start with some nice gloss, actually polished metal, and I'm going to use this kind of bronzy color here to create some wings for my pig. So I want this little pig to be able to fly, so I'm going to create that wing, and as you can see, it's actually made that 2D drawing nice and fluffy, and I can turn it onto the side here and manipulate this and make that a little bit wider, and then as I said, you can actually come down to there and you can add that into the pig's body. Now I could draw another one freeform, but I'm just going to control copy that, make my other wing on here, use my tools to rotate that, and then insert my little wing into the pig's back there. Now it's a little bit like PowerPoint. All I did there was select the whole thing, and now I'm going to group that together, which means that now when I rotate, you can see that those wings have joined into the pig's body. And that is all now one object. So if I resize him, the wings resize with him, etc. So that our little pig will be able to fly as well, we might need to give him some sort of adapted tail. So we'll go into 3D shapes again, go into 3D doodle again. I can change my color if I'd like to, but I'm going to give my piggy like a little kind of rudder tail, so that he can steer when he is flying. Okay, so that's not quite in the right spot. We're going to move into the plane so that we can insert that into his body like that. It's not going to take away the other curly tail. It's probably going to be underneath. So if I grouped him, so I can either do Control A and I can group him all together. So select all, group all, and then my little pig has his tail here, and that's actually nicely covered the little curly one as it is. Now this is where the fun starts. If I wanted to, I can actually build a whole 3D world for this little pig, because I could actually decorate this 3D model with his habitat as well. So I could go into 3D library, and he might like to live, let's have a look at the trees we've got. I can start to give him, you know, some habitat here in his fantasy world, and start to build a nice little 3D scene if I'd like to. So once you've done that, you can obviously view these really nicely as well on the screen. The students could view them in mixed reality. You can use headsets. If I wanted to 3D print my pig with wings, I could actually do that as well. So you could go into your menu here and you get the opportunity to print, and you can set up that so that you can print that off. But the really cool thing that we can do too is actually put our pig into mixed reality. So I've got my little pig here, and he is going to now start to fly around my office. So I'm going to use this little button up the top here called mixed reality. It's going to prepare my little pig for mixed reality. And if you're not quite sure what mixed reality is, it's where we combine individual objects with, digital objects with the real world. So now you can see here I am, and I've got my little piggy here, and here he is. He's flying around my office, okay, around my head. If I want to, this is just your camera app on Windows 10 as well, so you can flick over to video and you can actually get the students to narrate a little video and tell you about how their animal has adapted to its new environment, etc., etc. Or you can just take a nice little photo with your, and you can bring his face up as well. You can rotate him, just manipulating. So I'm just using touch and moving him around, but I could use my keyboard as well if I wanted to, if I don't have a touch screen. But there's my little pig on my shoulder, and I could actually say cheese and take a photo with my little pig if I wanted to. So that's a really neat little feature, and anything that you make in Paint 3D will go into mixed reality and pop out and use this app that's also free on Windows 10 called 3D Viewer. So it's linked to Paint 3D, but you can access it as well through your menu here, and you can just use your 3D Viewer app to search your library and do your cell activities, etc. in here as well. So you can see that there's a really great bank of models here, and it's great for, you know, this is the rover. You could do a spatial awareness kind of activity. You could bring dinosaurs into your classroom. You know, you can basically be as creative as you like. The next step in the whole process is the ability to create your own creatures, okay, or your own 3D models using the 3D objects over here, the primitive ones or the models, or, you know, starting from scratch. So let's say I wanted to create a chicken. I could start with my sphere for my head, and I have this nice color, and then I am going to insert a cone for its beak. So I will pop this in here. I'll rotate that around, and I will bring that into plane, into the right Z plane, move it over here, take it back a little bit until it actually combines with that shape. Then I need to make his comb. So on the top here, I can just draw that in 2D, and it will turn into a nice fluffy comb for my rooster, my chicken. And then I can place that in the correct area for him. And the other thing I haven't really spoken about yet is this whole concept of stickers in here. So these are stickers that will wrap themselves around 3D objects. So if you think about a sticker on a page, normally you would have to stick that on a piece of paper and it would be flat. But like if I had a tennis ball in real life and I stuck a little eye sticker on it, you can see that this one will actually take the shape of the 3D object that I am using. So now that I've got my little chicken done, I can group him all together, and again I can move him around, and you can see how those stamps have actually taken, I might delete my little piggy for now, taken the shape of that 3D shape, which is super cool. Okay, the last little tool that I wanted to show you in Paint 3D is the Magic Select tool. So it's pretty nifty because you can actually magically select a part of an image and remove it. And if you'd like to, use that part of the image as a texture or as a sticker that you'd like to wrap around the surface of a 3D object. So whether you want to use it as a sticker or you just want to use it as a photo editing tool, it's a great tool to know about. So here's my little picture of a landscape, and what I'd like to do is remove this boat from my landscape. So I'm going to use the Magic Select tool, and there's actually a little wizard over the side here that talks you through what you need to do. So I need to crop in closer to the object that I would like to remove from the photo, and then when I click next, it's just going to snip that for me, but I have the opportunity to actually extend the area that I would like to have snipped out. So we need to actually have why isn't that working? Oh. We need to actually add in the hull of the boat, so it's included when we actually want to take that part of the boat out. So then I can actually play along with this for as long as I want to kind of get it as perfect as I'd like it to be. But we're strapped for time today, so I'll just do that basically. And once I'm done, I can choose to either autofill the background or leave it blank. So if I autofill, what will happen is that when I click done, my little boat flashes, and that's showing me that amazingly it's made a little separate image of my boat, and it's blended in the background to almost make my image appear like this was never part of it. So, not the greatest example because we've got the shadow or the reflection in the water there as well, but that's the really cool thing. So the next step here is if I wanted to make this into a sticker, I can pop that into a sticker here, and then if I inserted a big 3D shape, I could actually grab my sticker here and or add this sticker, and you'll see that it's gone in as a custom sticker, and I can actually then stamp that sticker onto my sphere so that when I actually rotate that, you see that that custom sticker is rotated onto my ball. So you can use this not only for images but for textures, because I might want to cover my ball in this like ripply sunset water effect here, so I could make that into a sticker and actually cover that into that. But it's just a really great little photo editing tool to know about as well.
Thank you, Amanda. I'm now going to have a quick look at Video Editor with you. It's a powerful little program which is built into Windows 10. There are a number of ways you can get to Video Editor, but I normally just go to search, type in Video Editor, and you see it comes up there. You do have the option to pin it to your start menu or pin it to your taskbar if you're going to be using it a lot, or you can just launch it. And I think this is just an empty video editor. So as it says up here, you can create a new video with music, motion, special effects and more. I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of how you can use this video editor. So I'm going to create a new video project and I'll give it a name. I recently took some screenshots of Minecraft coding, so that'll be the name of my video. And what you'll see here is you've got a project library where you can add photos and video clips, which will be included in your video. And then you've got a storyboard here where you can order the different clips or images and have a few more effects, which I'll get to very shortly. So I'm just going to add some from my PC. I'm going to go to my videos, and I've got some screen captures here that I want to use, and I can just open those into my library. So you can include video clips, but also you can include still images as well. And you can actually turn your pictures. There's a picture of me and my Minecraft toys. Excellent. And to set up your video, really simple to do. You just grab the clips you want and put them into the order that you want. So I've got my image there, maybe I want that at the end, and I've got another video here, and you can see that this altogether is 2 minutes 51. You can add a title card and add text. So let's call it coding in Minecraft. You'll see there are different types of text that you can use, so you can find one that kind of ties in with the kind of theme of your video. I'll go for impact, there we go. And you can choose to have the text at the bottom, at the top, and so on. You can also choose to show that kind of halfway through the video or the text, or have it all the time. So there's my title. I can change the background. So let's get a green one. That's more in keeping with Minecraft, I think. And then you've got your clips. So you may have recorded a clip and you want to actually not show the whole clip. So perhaps you just want to show it from when you change the code there. So what you can actually do is you can trim each video clip, or you can split them into different parts. So if I want to trim that video clip, I just very simply say, okay, I want it to start there, and I don't want anything after before 29 seconds showing, and I want it to stop there. So once I do that, that just takes the beginning and the end off the clip. I can do the same one here. You can also add in text. So this might be using Python. So you might be using different programming languages, and you just want to highlight which one you're using in the clip. So nice and easy to do. You can do the same thing on your images. You can add text. So I might just write at the end, thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. There we go. And that will show up. I've got 3 seconds of that image, and it will say thanks for watching. You'll also notice here that there are filters, so you can have black and white and kind of different filters. And you can also add 3D effects. So these can be quite fun for videos, but you can also add them to bring a bit more life to still images. So you can add things like balloons, sparkles, fires, confetti. Yeah, so maybe I'll just have, I'll just have some sparkles. There we go. There we go, heart sparkles. So you get a little block there that you can change. So maybe I want heart sparkles all around my, all around the middle of the screen, around my thumb. So when it says thanks for watching, a whole load of heart bubbles come up. So I'll just click play and see what that looks like. There we go. If I want to make that effect longer, I can make it go for the whole 3 seconds. And I can also choose whether I want volume on that. Do I want it to be really loud, or maybe I could just turn the volume off. So really simple to add in different content. And then that will just play as a video. So you can always play it back down here. You've also got the ability to add in music. So there's a whole range of built-in music that you can explore. You can also bring your own audio in. And you've got the ability to sync your video to the music's beat, which can be quite fun if you've got a whole load of images. Perhaps you've got a slideshow of a sports day or something with a mix of images and videos, and you can just sync to the beat. So quite often I use this when I'm making tutorials for teachers and for students. I can record, and then if I do make a mistake or I pause too long, I can just go and trim that bit out. So it's a really nice editor for teachers making short videos, but also students getting creative and doing that sort of thing as well. So there's a lot more to the video editor, and what I suggest is if you have a look at the link I've put at the end of this whole video, you'll be able to go and explore and add in a whole bunch of other features. But really simple. It's a little hidden gem. It's in all areas of Windows 10. You can just search for it, open it up, and it's a nice lightweight video. Once you've got the video the way you want it, you just click finish video, and you can choose high quality, medium or low, and you can just export it as an MP4 and then bring it into Teams or Stream or YouTube or wherever you want to share it. So go and explore. Lots more features than what I've shown you there, but really easy to get started with. Thanks for your time. I'm now going to show you some of my favorite features of Microsoft Edge, the modern safe browser for education. Edge has been updated recently, and it's now available across lots of different platforms, and it's now built on Chromium, so all of your favorite Chrome extensions will work. So I've got my OneNote web clipper that I use to save websites directly to OneNote, and I've got Bitmoji that I like to use a lot. So I'm just going to give you a very quick tour of what I consider the premium features of Edge. So when you first start up Edge, you'll get your home screen, but you can custom this. I've got this basic one which has my most visited websites. I can also get quick access to any of my Microsoft 365 apps, and I can choose to have it focused or inspirational with a particular picture of the day, and you can choose to have your content from different places, so you can actually decide how it looks for you. And what you can also do is set up different profiles. So I've got my work profile here that I use at school, and then I've got my personal profile, so I can keep my online banking and my shopping separate from what I'm doing at work, and all of my bookmarks and collections and other things will be with that profile. So I'll show you a little bit about that as we go through. So I've got some bookmarks here, and if you're anything like me, you end up finding a really great resource, hitting add to favorites, and you just end up with a great long list that one day you plan to organize. I've only got a few here as this is a new computer that I've set up. But a better thing that I've found now in Edge is something called collections, and that's what I'm using more and more. When I find a useful resource or a useful website, I actually save it into a collection. So if I open up collections here, you'll see I've got what's new in Office 365, reimagine the writing process, forms, resources, things like that. So a collection is really organized bookmarks. So if I open up this forms resources, I've got all of my favorite resources if I'm talking to someone about Microsoft Forms, and you can just open up a page and add your current page to that collection. You can also add sticky notes. So if you want to make a note about how you've used the resource or what particular part of that website you find useful, you can add that, and you can color code them, so you can have yellow notes for teacher comments and blue notes for comments for students, and so on. So here's a presentation I did at the end of last term, what's new in Office 365, and I just put in sort of little lists of what I was going to talk about, and then I had websites linked to that as well. So you can see a really great resource. Collections are for planning or for researching, both for staff and for students. So that's probably my number one tip for Edge, is the collections. It's certainly saved me a lot of time and kept me organized. Something else that's now built into Edge is the immersive reader. So if I just go to this website I've got open here, you'll notice that many text-based websites will have this immersive reader image on the search bar. And you'll recognize that if you've used immersive reader in Word or OneNote or Minecraft. This gives you a lot of great features to actually help you with reading and comprehending the text. So if I just click on the immersive reader button, you'll see that it opens the text in an easier to read format. So I'm not bombarded with the background colors and the images. And I can actually just scroll down and read this on a black background. But I could choose to have a different colored background depending on what I find easier to read. I can change the text size if I'm struggling with smaller text. I can change the spacing. So those are really great features. So you can customize it and it will remain with your profile. So if you use a different computer, you'll still have access to your settings. You can have the content read to you. Just click read aloud and it will read out the content on the page. You can also choose to highlight nouns in purple, verbs in red, and so on. So you can see it's actually showing you the parts of speech highlighted there. And you've also got the ability to have a picture dictionary. So if you're a beginner reader or you're perhaps new to English, you can actually click on words and it gives you images to support your reading. So great little tool there. If you need to get rid of it, just click on there and it will switch off as well. So you can see it's much easier to read in this format. So something else you've got in the Edge browser now is this web capture. I've actually pinned mine to this top bar, but you can actually access it at any time by right-clicking the screen and choosing web capture. And what that will do will allow you just to take a picture of whatever's on the screen. And you can choose to either copy that and put it into an email or put it into Teams or something like that, or you can add notes and just draw directly on the page. So another nice feature there, you can just save that, copy it, or share it directly to an email or something else like that. So another great feature you've got there. Okay. And then I think just very quickly, one of the really fun things you've got is there's a built-in game. So if you are, whether you are on the web or even if your internet connection goes down, there's this built-in One other thing is a built-in surf game. So whether you are online or even if you have lost internet connection, you've got this really great, well, quite a basic game, but quite fun, called Let's Surf. And you can access it just by typing in the browser edge://surf, click space, and away you go. You've got to see how far you can. Okay, I didn't get very far. Not very good at this. But just by using the left and right keys, you can surf along, and there you go. And that can pass your time when your internet goes down or something like that. So there's a few really useful educational tips and a nice fun game as well.
And to end today's Windows app smash, we're going to have a look at Microsoft Whiteboard. Microsoft Whiteboard is a great multimodal app where you can, import pictures, put in PowerPoint docs. We're going to show you some of the features of it, and obviously you can ink on here, but the greatest thing too is you can also collaborate. So you can see up in the top corner here that I have shared this board, very, very easy to do. And we have Stephen Payne collaborating in this whiteboard as well, which is really fantastic if we want to work together remotely. So the first thing I wanted to show you is just the basic drawing tools. So you have the ability to click on the pen icon and you get all your colors in here. It does have glitter pens. You can click on your rainbow pen and you get to change the thickness of your pen nib as well. And you also have a ruler and protractor down here as well. So sometimes I talk to people about, why they might use this app as opposed to just inking in OneNote. It's really great because you do have the accuracy of being able to, draw mathematical examples, etc. when you are working in Whiteboard app, and you can see that I'm just ruling along the line of that there. The other really great thing is that you can actually beautify your handwriting in Microsoft Whiteboard. So I've got my little friend over here and he rules this app. So I'm going to write, I rule this app. So it's a little bit like ink to text, but I head down to my toolbar here, I lasso, and I've got this little magic wand here. And what it's going to do is actually make my handwriting nice and easy to read, which is a really fantastic feature as well. So Stephen's here as well. Stephen, what's one of your favourite features of the Whiteboard app?
Thanks, Amanda. I really like the sticky notes. There's a couple of ways that I use the sticky notes in the classroom. I'm just going to add a note in here underneath the ruler guy, and you'll notice that you can type inside a note. Are you actually seeing this in real time as well?
And at the same time, I can pop in here and I can actually edit this note as well. So can we change the color?
We can easily change the color. I've just changed it to blue, and you'll notice in the corner, you can actually pick up the corner and rotate it and enlarge it and move it around on the screen, which is really quite cool. The other thing that's quite useful is if you've got multiple people working together, they can actually click on notes and like them. So I've given that note a +1, and Amanda can go in and give that a +1 as well. And we've got a grid here that Amanda's added, and we can add extra notes, and you can draw in those notes. So maybe we're looking at what we like to have for breakfast. Oh. We were both writing at the same time there. There we go.
Which is a neat feature, right? Because you could be getting kids to use this, as a brainstorming tool as well. And it's not bad that they write on the same note sometimes.
Yeah, pretty cool. And if you don't want something in the notes, so perhaps because that one's a little bit messy, you can just pick it out and move it outside of the note and add a new one in. So you've got that flexibility there. And you'll notice that as you actually like things, you can actually sort the grid by reaction count. Are you able to do that on your side, Amanda? Just click on the title and sort by reaction count. There we go. So we can see peaches is the most popular. So that's really cool. Just a neat little tool I like in the sticky notes. That's probably my favorite because it's nice and easy to use. But then to take it to the next level, we've got templates. Do you want to show those?
Yeah, cool. So templates are really nifty too, because as teachers, we're all time poor. So we need a, repertoire of things that we can have access to quite quickly and easily. So in your plus tab down the bottom here, you've got your templates, but there's a couple that exist in the menu as it is, which is in the note grid we've showed you. The list one is what I've used here to to actually highlight the features, and you can see that I've actually got ink to shape on as well. So I just drew a rough circle, and it's actually formatted that circle into or it's actually an oval to stand corrected, a really smooth oval, which is great. And then we have, follow-up lists in here, which is quite a new one as well. But if you go into the template button here, there's a whole heap of different ones in here. The one that I've actually chosen to showcase, because some of them may not be suitable for your classroom, but there's a KWL. So I've started to fill this one out, and I've just taken that post-it note out, so I'll pop that one back in. But we were talking about the Gold Rush unit, and you can see that we're collaborating in here. So I could actually share this link with a small group of students or my whole class if I wanted to. And you can see that real-time collaboration is happening here because Stephen is adding in a couple of post-it notes in terms of what he wonders about our unit that we're doing on the Gold Rush. And then basically we could get the kids to use that light feature before if they wanted to recognise that as something that they would put into the I Wonder section as well. And if we wanted to, we could sort those at a later date after the template was all finished. But templates are a really great one to explore as well, because there's a whole heap of different options in there. You can see from this list as well that we do have the opportunity to pop in stickers, and that's where I got my little confident pencil from, and my ruler that rules the app. So you can actually, like I said, make it quite multimodal. But Stephen, I don't know about you, but another thing that I love is the ability to insert pictures in here. So if I was to pop into my plus sign, that's where I would actually insert documents. So I have to go into my little image menu here, and I can choose to Bing search for those. So like all of our apps, it's got Bing search built in, but I'm going to choose some from my library, and I've got some images already selected here. So I'll select all of those, pop those in, and they go into a little group like this. And when I actually touch this, it organizes them nicely for me. So the cool thing is that, you almost have this instant animation happening with some of these pictures that are already in. So that's a really cool way to get some pictures in there, and you can just move those around, and we could actually then start to make these into something completely different to what they originally were. So Stephen, have you used inserting Word or PowerPoint docs or PDFs much in Microsoft Whiteboard?
Yeah, I have, and the thing, I haven't got any to hand because I'm on a new computer, but one of the things I like is when you bring in a PowerPoint document or a PDF, it will actually ask you which pages you want to bring in, so you don't have to bring the whole document in. You may just want to bring in a rubric or a checklist or something like that. I've got a
Word one here, Stephen, and I've got like the storyboard at the top, and then the personal narrative example. It won't insert, as you can see, if you've got that file in use. So if I close that down and then I actually insert this Word doc, it gives me a choice here, as Stephen was saying, if I want to put both pages in or just one. So I can pop this storyboard in. And this is, again, thinking back to my days as a teacher, I sometimes would blow things like this up to A3 or just have it on the whiteboard and projected to the whiteboard and ink over it. But now I can do that completely digitally. And, at the end, I could actually share this with my students in the 3 lines up the top here. You can see that you can export, send to OneNote, post to Teams, or even send an email summary. So it's pretty nifty. Back in the day, again, I've seen people taking photos of their whiteboard and then having to distribute that to students. But if you use this app, it's kind of like you've got that whiteboard and on your device, and you can easily share that with anyone. So the great thing about it too is that you save money, and it's more environmentally friendly because you're not putting whiteboard markers into landfill. Like, how many times have you actually grabbed one and it's got no ink, especially the green ones? They always seem to run out. So with Microsoft Whiteboard, you'll never run out of ink again, which is super cool.
Thank you for watching this video. If you've got any questions, feel free to contact us on Twitter. Mine and Amanda's Twitter handles are on the page, and all of the resources that we've talked about and further trainings can be found at aka.ms/onestop edu.